Okay, so I've got this question a lot over the past few months. Why women ghost you after showing high interest initially or after showing high initial interest. So here's what usually will happen. A guy will meet this woman, and let's say he gets the number off of a dating app, or let's say he gets her phone number after meeting her, or whatever, and she seems interested, and then eventually things just fade away, and there's no more desire and there's no more attraction. I'm going to show you why this is happening, and then I'm going to show you how to actually prevent this from happening. So I'm going to say that one more time. I'm going to show you why this is happening, and then I'm going to show you how to prevent it, because you're not going to be able to prevent it unless you know why it's happening in the first place. So here's the thing. Men fail to realize that women are only filtering for selected men, pre-selected men. Every single conversation, every single text message, she's constantly trying to get a good read on your dating value, okay, your SMV. So it's like a pass or fail system. It's like every conversation, she's thinking to herself, what are the reasons why I should not talk to this guy anymore? She's looking for reasons to basically exit the communication. So men fail to realize that women are only filtering for selected men. She wants to know that you're pre-selected by other women. So here's what you have to start to realize and what you have to start to understand. She did not just ghost you. She did not just lose interest randomly. She isn't just playing games like a lot of guys think. This is what actually happened. What happened was that she figured out that you are not selected. Maybe she liked the way you looked. Maybe she liked the way your style was with your fashion and your clothing. Maybe she liked your smile. Maybe she thought you had big biceps. Doesn't matter. After getting to know you, and it could be from just a couple text messages, it could be just from a simple first date, whatever happened, okay, she figured out that you're not selected. So here's what you have to remember. The reason why men will oftentimes spend an entire, lifetime even trying to learn better game or better social skills and it never pays off is because of this. They don't realize that the entire point of game in the first place, okay, it's not to be able to pass her tests. It's not to be able to show that you're the best socially compared to everybody else. It's not to try to create chemistry, and it's definitely not to try to get her to like you. The point of game in the first place, okay, is to emulate the movements and the words and the mannerisms of a man who is selected or pre-selected, if you want to call it that. That is the entire point of game, to emulate the mannerisms, the nuances, the words, everything that signals, hey, I have options. Hey, I have a lot of options that want to date me. That is the entire point. It's to show a difference in SMV, okay, between yours and hers. That's the entire point of game. So the real reason why women ghost you after showing initial high interest is because she started to realize that you are not selected. So let's look at all the reasons why she ghosted you. You could have been too excited, okay? But what I really find it to be, or what I typically see happens, is the man is just overall willing to enter into natural communication with her. When I say natural communication with her, it looks like this. Hey, how's your day going? Good morning. Hey, any plans this weekend? Happy New Year. Did you have a good weekend? What's up? How are you doing today? Okay? When you enter into natural communication, it starts to decrease your value in her eyes socially. So you will never find a truly selected man saying this because he doesn't care and he's lazy. His communication pattern is lazy because what you're going to notice is women oftentimes will come to him and desire to date him without him putting in any effort. So what you need to start to realize and understand is the more effort you show, the more desire starts to decrease in her eyes that she had for you. So you're never going to find a truly selected man saying this because he doesn't care and he's lazy. By you entering into natural communication, here's what happens. You're subconsciously saying this, okay? You are literally subconsciously saying, hey, I think you and I are on the same level of attractiveness. That's what you're signaling when you enter into this kind of natural communication. You're basically saying, hey, you and I are on the same level of attractiveness. And this does not work because women don't like this, as they want you to have higher dating value or higher SMV than they do. And that's how you start to satisfy hypergamy. You need to demonstrate that you're a selected man. So this is all the reasons why she probably is ghosting you or is not talking to you, because you have now started to enter into natural communication. A guy who is a player or more selected, it's a lot of one-word responses. It's a lot of times him not responding, okay? Him appearing like he's in his own world, doesn't even really care what's going on around him. And what this is constantly signaling, or what this is constantly saying, okay, stick with me here. What this is constantly signaling or saying is that, hey, your beauty doesn't do a whole lot for me, and I'm not easily impressed by your beauty. That's what this is signaling, okay? That's what you're trying to demonstrate. So I'm going to show you how a truly selected man acts and operates, okay? He is nonchalant and always at pretty much a 5 or 6 level of interest, okay? Just a good level of chill and having fun, okay? He is constantly chill and he really doesn't care, okay? This is how a truly selected man operates. He's never really excited. And because he's never excited, she's constantly saying, how can I win him over? How can I get him to show me more investment? How can I get him to smile more when he's around me? How can I get him to laugh more when he's around me? And because of that, what she's wanting to do is find reasons to leave you, okay? So not only is he always at just like a medium level of interest, like a 5 or a 6 level of interest, he's typically completely in his own world. So a day is a day to him, and his whole focus is to really just enjoy his time however he would like. This is how a truly selected man operates. Now, she has no idea when she will hear from him next, okay? He never appears to be in a rush, okay? He's never eager to set up a date. Let's say she has a few days off from work and you guys have been seeing each other. She will notice that he isn't eager to try to see her on one of her off days from work. He doesn't care if the weekend just floats by, okay? And he's never reactive. So she might even try to start an argument and he doesn't really have any energy to invest into that argument. He's not even really going to entertain it. I think a lot of times guys have been conditioned to believe that you have to have this masculine persona and you set all of these boundaries and you carry yourself a certain way, but in reality, a truly selected man, you're never going to see him give that much effort to these things at all, okay? So what this guy is doing is he is demonstrating that he won't go emotionally weak for her beauty. Now, here is what it looks like. I saved the best for last. In these 2 columns, I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then over here, I'm going to show you what it sounds like, okay? Here's what it looks like. Maybe he will send a text message that says, I'll call you in a bit when I'm home, or I'll call you in a little bit when I get home. And then he never calls, or he says, oh, I forgot to call, okay? Or maybe he will send a text message on like Wednesday or Thursday, and he says, hey, we can meet up Saturday. I'll text you in the morning. But then he never text messages her, or he forgets to. Or he was out the night before and slept in till noon. Okay, you have to remember this. The player is lazy. You think the player is this high-status guy giving a lot of effort, driving around in the fancy sports car and all of this, and he's 8 feet tall and makes $100 million or something like that. That's what you probably think. And then when you find out the guy that she's dating doesn't have any of those traits or characteristics and puts in like no effort, you start to actually see what hypergamy responds to, and that would be dudes who don't care. Okay? So he might say, hey, we can meet up Saturday and I'll text you in the morning, but then he never text messages her. And then her mind basically is like, well, is he with somebody else? She maybe will send a text message that says, good morning, cutie, or good morning, babe, in a text message to him. And let's say he forgets to reply, or his phone is off, or he replies later that day because he really doesn't care. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to move on to show you what it sounds like, because this is completely different. Okay, when he starts to get to know her, she wants to have deeper level investment into his life, but for some reason she can't actually access it. She can't access deeper levels of communication into his life for whatever reason. It's like he's just not even available. So a lot of guys also think, oh, you know, if I take her on these dates, or if I take her to this event, or if I bring her into my life to show her, hey, these are my friends and this is all the cool stuff that I have going on, she's going to like me. And a lot of times this is just not true. In fact, it couldn't be further from the truth. Here's what it actually sounds like when a woman is really in love with you and she thinks that you're pre-selected. Here's what it sounds like. You have to realize this. If she's not saying things like, why haven't I got to meet any of your friends yet? I've been seeing you for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Why have I never really met any of your friends? If she's not saying things like, why haven't you ever made an effort to introduce me to your family? I've known you for 8 months. You've never once said, hey, you know, my mom or dad is in town. We could all go grab dinner together. Why have you never tried to introduce me to your family? If she's not saying things like, do I always need to be the first one to reach out? Or do I always need to reach out and text message you first? Do I always have to be the one that initiates a date? Do I always have to be the one that initiates you and I meeting up? Or if she's not saying things like, I can't tell if you even like me. If she's not saying things like this, you're probably going to lose her. Okay, so if you don't hear these things, you will eventually lose her to a different guy who isn't giving as much effort. And you have to understand, when I make these videos, I'm not necessarily happy to tell you this. This is just what I have seen happen over the years. Okay? What you have to remember is this took me like 10 years to figure out. And you just have to basically accept that this is how things are. Here's what you have to remember. I don't make the rules or decide how things play out. This is just how things happen. Okay? This is how things work. Okay? So to conclude this video, what I want you to always remember is that women really only want what they can't have. And if she feels as if she has fully obtained your desire level, this is when she's going to start to lose interest and the relationship gets boring. So you might have this idea of a relationship where it's like two people love each other and cooperate and care about each other. And that's just not what it is. When women have that dynamic, you're going to notice that they really lose interest, and a lot of times they treat the man very poorly. Their attitude becomes really dismissive towards him. She loses a lot of romantic desire, and on top of that, she starts to just not like him. So what I did to help you learn some of these things at an even deeper level is I created a community. We now have over 1,400 guys in there who are learning this process that I call the language of women. And what I have been helping guys do is I help them learn, understand, and master the language of women. And that's why we have so many guys in this community now actually learning this. So I invite you to check out what I made for you. It's below in the description. I think you're really going to like it. And I think that if you join this too, I think it's going to help your dating life at a way quicker pace. So be sure to join that. We'll see you in the next video.